Grandma here from the Teacher's Treasure Chest. I wanted to stop today and chat a little bit about some of my favorite resources that I use in my classroom. I spent a lot of time talking about intervention and the intervention binders that we use, and those are a big help for my students. Still one of my favorite things that I have ever created and used in my classroom are intervention binders. But I have a few other resources that I really do use a lot and I feel like kind of go unnoticed sometimes. For my students that I want to have practice with making words, I like to have them practice that in a tactile way. A lot of times we use the magnetic letters, the Scrabble tiles. Those are all great ways and I still use those, of course, because you never know what each student will need, of course, right? I also have this flip chart that I created. So it has the consonant, vowel, consonant, and then it has the picture. So the students have to change the letters in order to make a word, and so then they'll blend them and say the word, and then they'll match it to the correct picture. My students always love this. It's always a favorite of ours. There's several words that they can make. In fact, I usually only include about a mixture of about 15 on the chart at a time, and the reason for that is a lot of times I'll also have them do nonsense words, okay, and take the picture away so that they can practice those words as well. So there's a lot of uses for this CBC flip chart that I have. And I'm going to actually list this at a discounted rate for the purpose of this video so that you guys can have a chance to scoop that up. So it'll be in the comment section if you are interested in that one. Okay? Again, one of my favorite, very helpful, and it lasts forever. I mean, this is about 4 years old, and I use it all the time. So it lasts forever and is very effective in your aiding in your instruction. Another favorite of mine is, I'm kind of a math literature nerd. You've heard me say that before. I really enjoy bringing an interactive read aloud into my math subject. However, sometimes I struggle with finding enough interactive read alouds, because say we teach time for 2 weeks, I may not have enough books to use time for 2 weeks, or I can't go buy a $6 book for every day to use for the entire length of the unit. So I created these little read alouds that I use, and they're perfect because once I finish with them, they go in my library, and my students really enjoy reading them. Okay, so they go over the concept of time, they go over the important vocabulary that the students are exposed to, and how we use time to measure events and different things that happen in our day. And again, this is a very durable. Now, I had this book bound, and I think I paid like $1.89 to have it bound. So worth it, okay? Because now it lasts, again, several years old, all right? And it's made it through all the little hands of all the little children. Same thing with my maps book. Now I did this one myself, so it doesn't look as great because I'm not a professional binder, let's just put it that way. So same thing, social studies interactive read aloud that I use. And I put all of our social studies vocabulary in it, okay? And so I was able to use this to show my students and introduce my students to the topic of maps. I tried to pick topics for books that I couldn't really find a lot of for myself, and that I was having a hard time making it stretch over that long period of time. And the students love reading these books to each other and doing a buddy reading. So these are a great resource to have for a very inexpensive price. And again, all the products that I'm showing you and the resources that I'm showing you in this video will be discounted through the course of this video. Another easy and fun center I have, this is a part of my Math Center Growing Bundle. The students have to practice counting the objects in the box, and then they record it. And of course there is a recording sheet as well. So there's several of these. It also goes into the place value blocks and such like that. So several different cards that they have to work through. Great tool to use for small group instruction. Great independent center for the students. Our students have always been able to, once we taught them how to do these cards, you'll see that the format is the same and there's several different steps. That's so that they can continue doing those throughout the year. I'm a firm believer that we don't necessarily just have to use a center one time for the school year and then put it up. So if you use something in September, say February, March, those kids have already forgot about that center. Pull that back out. Don't make more work for yourself. Use that center again, and then that way you're not creating more work for yourself. You're spiraling back to that previously taught skill, and those students are constantly using those skills. So it's not that like we're teaching something for 4 days, testing on it, and moving on, right? We are over that hump in education. We know that we have to keep spiraling back through our skills regardless of what it is, for students to really develop that long-term understanding of it. All right, so these were just 4 things I wanted to share with you today and show you that we really enjoy using. And sometimes I feel like I talk so much about intervention and we have all these questions about intervention that you don't get to see what I use in my real classroom life. And I'm really big about making things simple. I want something that I can make and that can last. So if it's not going to last and serve multiple purposes, I will not use it. I change grade levels and I've moved a lot. So I've been able to use these resources in a variety of different grades, which I love. So again, just wanted to share some favorite resources of mine with you. Check the comments tab for the links for those discounted items, and that will last until the 1st. So have a great day. We'll see you later.